Hello from sunny Batesville, Indiana. That's right, today I'm doing a skate park tour of the relatively new, less than a year old, Batesville Skatepark. Opened up at the beginning of 2023 by Hunger Skateparks with all kinds of support from like the Skate Park Project or the Skate Park Foundation, whatever it's called. A ton of like local fundraising and things like that. And this park is really interesting, really incredible, lots of really good fun things to skate, and I hope that you will find some time to come check this out. Now, if you're not familiar with Batesville, it's about 40 minutes north of Cincinnati off of I-74 and is known for a relatively morbid fact, and that is it's the home of Batesville Casket Company, which is like the number one coffin manufacturer in the world. So there are a lot of coffins made here. Maybe I'll get a coffin trick done today at the park, but you'll see a couple of features that are a nod to Batesville's history. Kind of funny, definitely makes it unique. So with that said, let's go check out the park. All right, so I'm gonna start at the southeast end of the park. This skate park's like L-shaped, so you'll see towards the back there's the bowl and like a back quarter that form the bottom part of the L. But here at the top part of the L, you've got kind of a mix of a street course or a start of a street course, and then kind of a flowy bowl area with all kinds of interesting camel humps and things like that. Now, I'm standing on top of a 5-foot quarter that kind of bowls in a corner a bit and has a hip to it as well, which is kind of unique. And then you obviously get thrown right into the different camel humps that are at the bottom of this thing. So we'll take a drop in and show you that here in a second. All right, so now I'm at the bottom part of this bowl section, and you can see these 3 different camel humps in front of me. One's just a kind of a standard circular one. One's a little bit longer, like a bread loaf. And then this one is kind of cut in half, maybe for some future expansion, we'll see. But they're all about 2 feet tall, really mellow to get over. Can definitely do tricks off of them or into them. And then of course, like I mentioned, you've got quite a variety of different bold corner quarter pipes. So there's the one that I was just standing on a second ago that's about 5 foot tall, and then there's one that's 3 feet tall next to it. So definitely some options for learning how to drop in and getting comfortable skating transition. And then over here, you've got this long escalator style quarter pipe that goes right down into the ground. And this goes all the way up to about 4.5 feet tall or so. And there's even like a kind of a roll-in transition in between this quarter pipe and then a volcano style quarter pipe. The volcano, as you can see, only has coping on parts of it. And on the other side of this volcano, you'll have kind of an interesting treat or nod to Batesville's history, which we'll check out in a minute. But anyway, you've got a lot of hips, a lot of options to carve around here, and should give you plenty of opportunities for different lines and stuff like that if you like skating transition. All right, so on the other side of the volcano, you've got the Batesville casket sculpture that forms this like keyhole bowl. The keyhole bowl itself is only about 3 feet tall, so it skates very much like a mini ramp, but the extension is close to 6 feet tall. And you've got those like kind of interesting escalators on the sides of it. So really gives a very unique feature to it, and you know, I've not seen anything quite like that at any other park, which obviously makes sense. So kind of funny. I like when Hunger does those little local specific aspects to a park. And then on the other side of this little mini ramp keyhole bowl, you got the start of the street section. So down towards the end back on the south end of the park, you've got a 12-inch tall circular flat bar. The circular flat bar is about 2 inches in radius and then about 14 feet long. And then you've got a bump to bar, bump to ledge with a down rail and hubba. The hubba itself is about 14 inches tall or so, really easy to get on, pretty standard size for a Hunger park. And then this square bump to rail or down rail At its probably tallest point is maybe 16 or 18 inches tall. Very long and mellow, kind of thin and skinny on the top, only about 2 inches wide. But if you like skating square rails, you'll find something to do on this. All right, so middle of the street section, you've got these mirrored boxes with like this Euro gap to long manual pad. The long manual pad is only about 1 foot tall. The Euro gap is really short, so it's a quick hop onto it, and it's probably 40 feet long or so. So it gives you a long time to do some kind of manual or grind trick on it. Really a lot of fun once you can figure out kind of the flow of the Euro gaps. And then these twin boxes are about 12 or 14 inches tall. Really easy to get on because on their middle sections, or the part where they're kind of closest to, they're actually shorter than down on the ends. So whether you're skating front side or back side, it's really easy to get onto and great for beginners, because on the other side of these boxes, obviously you can just roll right onto the shorter part, and then you've got like a nice kind of Pier 7 style manual pad. This is very similar to the Foster Park in Kokomo, if you check that video out. Then we've got a bank to ledge, A-frame rail, pyramid thing, and a long manual pad. We'll start with the manual pad first, only about 8 inches tall, so kind of standard curb height. And then the A-frame rail, super long and mellow. I think it's about 12 feet long on either side, and about 18 inches tall or so. Round rails on both sides. So nice way to get a long grind or slide trick. And then there's a bump to ledge on the other side. You kind of use the A-frame as a bit of a bump to get on top of it. This would be one where I would have kind of liked something a little bit steeper to get you a little bit more pop, because right when you get to the top, it feels like you're almost getting just you're olling off a flat instead of off of a bump. But you know, you get enough pop to get onto this maybe 18 or 20 inch tall ledge, and it's super long. It's about 20 feet long, so plenty of time to do all kinds of tricks on that. All right, so I skipped past a couple other features. One is the bank to curb, nice California red curb style thing. Kind of sketchy to slap you onto it if you're going on the other side, because it is, you know, about a 4-foot bank or so. But you could slash this as well and get some grind tricks on it, which is kind of cool. And then you've got about a 5-foot tall hip as well, kind of steep. So get used to the speed or holding your speed to get up it and coming down it, but should be no problem for somebody who's used to skating something like this. All right, so now for the bowl, which I'm sure most of you transition skaters are wanting to know about. The bowl's got a wide variety of heights as well as materials for the coping. As you can see here, you've got pool coping for 2/3 of it with tile all the way around. The pool coping is in great shape, so let's keep it that way. But needless to say, it's kind of like a combi bowl style, where you got a lot of hips on the corners, a roll in over there in the center, and then hips in the middle to make each bowl section deeper. So to start with the coping side, this coping side is about 5 feet tall or so. So get down into it. 3/4 worth of coping, definitely some straight ends so it doesn't curve out like the other sections of the bowl do. So get those like long straight grinds and all kinds of stalls and stuff like that. And then in the bold section over here with pool coping, this is definitely over 6 feet tall, maybe about 6.5 feet tall or so. I'm just going off of my own height. But you've got really standard curve all the way around, which is what you'd expect in like a regular swimming pool. And then this deeper section, it's not really deeper in the bottom per se, but it's got extensions all the way around to make it about 8 feet or close to 9 feet tall. So a little bit of vert towards the top. And I'm not much of a transition skater, so I'll just leave it up to you guys to say whether it's good or not. But I would imagine that with some of the curves, you're gonna have to figure out the lines before you can really enjoy it. But really nicely designed and made bowl. I kind of dig it, even though I'm not a transition skater. So there are a couple more transition obstacles towards the north end of the park. You've got these like elbow volcano style, almost like spine quarter pipes. There's one over here as well that kind of functions as like almost like a taco shell style, but it also kind of comes outward like a hip. So definitely a neat, unique one. And then over there you got a 4 foot hip quarter pipe setup as well. Last part of the street section is this wall ride, as well as twin circular rails going down a small double set. So a 2 flat 2 plus another hubba and out ledge. One of the rails is about 16 inches tall. The other one is probably closer to 20 or 24 inches tall. So 2 different heights to skate, both about 10 feet long. So for those of you who are rail skaters, you got plenty of options with that as well. All right, so the bonus part of the Batesville Park is you've got this asphalt pump track. So asphalt definitely helps from the standpoint of being able to ride a skateboard on it and it not being solely BMX focused. I don't really know that much about pump tracks, but I can tell you that there are some varying degrees of difficulty on these. So over here, you definitely have more of an advanced style pump track with some jumps that are anywhere from 3 to 4 feet tall and will definitely kick you up and help you carry a lot of speed. Then you carry into more of an intermediate level of pump track here towards the center that has some mellower jumps and stuff like that, and is a little bit more spaced out. And then you've got this smaller section, which is obviously more for a beginner. Definitely some smaller bumps and rollers and things like that, but helps somebody just kind of warm up if they're doing a pump track for the first time. So a lot of variety in this one, especially if you get sick of the skate park itself, you can come over here. Also helps keep some of the little kids off of the skate park and gets them focused on something like this if they're just trying to roll around. So nice feature that Batesville Park has. All right, thanks for checking out this skate park tour of the Batesville Park. Hope you come check it out. It's an awesome park. A lot of variety, as you'll see. Even if you don't like skate parks, you got a pump track here too, which is like a double bonus. So if there's any questions or things you have about the park, feel free to drop those in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But otherwise, stay tuned for the next skate park tour video, probably coming sometime in 2024. Thanks for watching. See you later.